Well, it was a beautiful evening here on the Noir River. Very peaceful and relaxing after a long 42-kilometer day. We still have a really big day again tomorrow, so it's time to go to bed. But the truth is that, honestly, for me, for about 5 years of my life, maybe between the time I was like 26, 27 to 31, 32, I had the hardest time sleeping in a tent. I would still go out because I loved it so much, but sleep was really challenging for me. But the good news is that for the past year and a half, I've really focused a lot on trying to get better sleep by bettering my sleep system and trying different techniques. So I think tonight I'll have a good sleep. See you in the morning. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Third day here on the river. Slept like an absolute baby last night, and I figured what I would do in today's video is share with you all the little techniques in my entire sleep system that allows me to sleep as if I was at home. So let's go. So first thing first, let's talk about some of the obvious here. Campsite selection is going to make a big difference in the quality of your sleep. A couple of things that I'm always looking for is to be sheltered as much as possible from the wind, because the wind can keep you up all night. Also, making sure that you pitch a proper shelter that'll be able to protect you from any kind of element and weather. We'll make sure that you stay dry, but also will give you this sense of security when you're out in the back country. And the last thing too is to make sure that you find flat ground. So many people underestimate the value of sleeping on flat ground for the quality of their sleep. And any little bit of slant on the ground will really make it challenging to find a comfortable way to sleep. You'll be rolling off your sleeping pad at all times. Maybe you'll be sliding off of it. If you're like me and you're a side sleeper, you'll feel like you're gonna constantly be fighting the slope trying to stay on your side. So finding a proper location for your shelter is really the first step to starting to talk about how can you have a good night's sleep in the backcountry. The next step is to get a proper sleep system. It's called a sleep system because it's not only about having a good sleeping bag or a good sleeping pad, it's about having the proper sleeping bag that's rated appropriately for the weather you're going in, combined with the proper sleeping pad that's also rated properly to all fit together to keep you nice and warm. Because if you go with a way too warm of a sleep system, you're gonna overheat, and that's not fun. And the opposite is just as true. If you leave with a sleep system that's not warm enough and you're cold, I guess you can put a lot of clothes on when you're sleeping, but the goal here is to be comfortable. So you do want to have the proper sleep system that'll get you through that. Now that we've covered the basics, the real question is, how do you become comfortable sleeping on the ground? The first thing I want to talk about is the sleeping pad. The sleeping pad is everything. This is what you lay on. This is what keeps you warm at night. It is so worth investing a lot of money in a good sleeping pad. I used to sleep on a blue little foam that was basically just to try to give you a little bit of insulation from the ground, no comfort at all. Then I moved to a self-inflatable pad. It was doing an okay job at allowing me to sleep. But then when I was 26, I got hit by a car riding my road bike, and I got some pretty decent back injuries and just like kind of aches and soreness in my lower back from that for years. And still to this day, it's always a part of my body that's always usually aching, plus just general aging. I'm 33 now. I know it's not the oldest, but the more I age, the more I become stiffer and stiffer from sleeping on the ground. What I ended up doing a couple of years ago is I went from a self-inflatable pad to an air mattress like the Neo Air X-Lite, the one that I'm sleeping on today. And this sleeping pad inflates to 2.5 inches. And for someone like me that's a side sleeper, that made a huge difference, because I can now sleep on my side without having my hips touching the ground and be nice and comfortable and adjust how thick and how firm I like my sleeping pad. And now I can easily sleep on my side, because the biggest challenge for me of sleeping on the ground is I can't sleep on my back. I feel like I'm arching backwards every time I sleep. I'm laying down on my back. The only way I can be comfortable sleeping on my back is if I raise my legs, and what it does is it flattens my lower back, and this way I don't have that feeling of overarching. But typically speaking, I'm a side sleeper, and an air pad like the Neo Air X-Lite is absolutely amazing for side sleepers. The second thing I did eventually is I got myself a real air pillow, like the Trichology pillow right here. And I used to use this as a head pillow, and for me that wasn't working, and I tried it forever. I don't like the feeling of sleeping on an air pillow, sleeping on an air mattress. It feels like I'm trying to balance a balloon on a balloon, and I always feel like I'm trying to look for my balance on my sleeping pad, like I'm gonna kind of roll off of it. But what I use this pillow for now is actually to put it in between my knees when I'm sleeping, because at home I always sleep with a 2-pillow system. I have one for my knees, keep my knees apart, and it keeps my spine a bit straighter when I sleep, and then I have a pillow for my head. And this is probably pound for pound the best pillow you can bring to do that, because it compacts so small, it's super light, and it's really comfortable to have in between your knees. So then what do I do for a pillow if I'm not using this inflatable pillow here? I actually went old school on this one. This is what I used to do way back when. This is what my dad taught me to do when I first started, is I'd basically take my clothing bag. I always bring my clothes in a dry sack from Sea Line, and I like the material of this. It's actually comfortable on my face. It doesn't stick to me, and it's not like hard plastic. So I'll put the links in the description of all that gear if you guys want to check it out. It'll all be in there. If you don't like the material of dry sack, what you can do is you can take a t-shirt, put it over top of it, and it'll feel really comfortable. But the reason why I went back to my clothing bag is that at home I sleep with a king size firm pillow. Because the width of my shoulders for me, and because I'm a side sleeper, I need something really thick to keep my head straight, align with my spine, and I need something in between my knees to really, when I sleep on my side, to keep my spine straight. Otherwise I wake up all twisted. The only way I could get something thick enough that wasn't adding weight to my system was to just go back to my old school clothing bag. And this way, now this one is a little thin because I'm wearing some clothes right now, but this way I can sleep with it and I can have the thickness that I need so that I don't feel like I'm sleeping with my head crooked like this. Oldest trick in the book, and it's made the biggest difference ever. For the next tip to be able to really sleep like you're at home, I wanted to talk about making sure that you go pee before you go in your tent. That's the obvious one. Everybody knows to do that. But even more importantly, if ever you wake up in the middle of the night and you have to pee, do yourself a favor and don't hold it in. I know it sucks, but step out of your tent and go pee, because you have all that extra water inside of your bladder and inside of your body's trying to heat it up, and you will feel significantly colder if you have to pee. Don't try to just wait out the time, because what's going to end up happening is that you're going to sleep 10 minutes at a time, wake up trying to look at the time, see if it's time to get up, and it's just going to be a really long and miserable night. Another pro tip I want to talk to you guys about is to bring a pair of these bad boys right here. These are just earplugs. They're sleeping earplugs, very comfortable to wear. And the reason why you want to bring earplugs is because when you go out canoe camping, you go out backpacking with your friends, by the time you get to 30, everybody snores. Like, I never snore, but everybody else is snoring to keep me up at night, even if we're not in the same tent. So what I do is, by bringing this, I can put this on and really muffle out all that noise, and it allows me to sleep much better. The other thing also that this will work really well with is it'll basically take away all the little noise that the forest has for you, the little cracks, the little squirrel walking around, the little tree frog calling for a mate all night long that might keep you up. Because for me, all of that keeps me up at night, and earplugs just allows me to turn it all off and sleep like a baby. And the best place to keep those earplugs so you never forget them is, most sleeping bags come with a little pouch. So you open up that little pouch, put a pair of earplugs in there. In your tent, all the little pouches as well, put a pair of earplugs in all those, so you have many pairs with you, so this way you never forget them, and you're gonna sleep so much better because it's gonna be quiet. If you want more pro tips from me, guys, I'm gonna put right here a playlist of all the pro tips that I put together for you. And otherwise, I will see you as always in the next video. Peace.